This is the North Woods in the state of Maine. It's springtime, and as the long winter loosens its icy grip on Chandlers Lake Camps, the residents are keen to get things moving, looking forward to everything the next 4 months of warmer weather will bring. It's an exciting time in Maine's North Woods, and it's also an exciting time in Maine's North Waters as well. The Brook Trout of the Aroostook, Penobscot, and Allagash watersheds are waking up and feeding up. But will they be looking up?
Hi, I have a question for you. Do you like chasing brook trout? Are you up for a bit of an adventure? Well, you're in for it for sure. We're in the North Woods here in Maine at Chandlers Lake Camps. We're on the make for wild native brookies in streams and in still water. Check this big fish adventure out right now on the new Fly Fisher.
Ooh, that's a nice sized fish.
I will catch these all day.
That is what you're in for on this episode.
The new Fly Fisher is supported by Maine Office of Tourism, Orvis Fly Fishing, Trout Unlimited, Rio Products, Oscar Blues Brewery, Global Rescue, Adipose Boatworks, WeatherTech Canada.
In a state well known for its maritime culture, the North Woods in Maine are virtually untouched with respect to fly fishing opportunities. And those opportunities are found everywhere. North Woods, Maine spans over 3 million acres of recreational opportunities. We're based out of Chandlers Lake Camp, a drive-to traditional Maine sporting camp founded in 1902 and steeped in history. We're here to experience all that North Woods, Maine has to offer, namely the wild brook trout that inhabit the area. Joining us on this adventure is good friend Tom Rosenbauer, and we are guests of owners Jason and Sherilyn Bouchard. Now, here's the hook. We've heard how great both the spring and summer brook trout fishing is here, so we're going to experience it. Both seasons. Spring brookies in the local rivers, and summer brook trout during the hexagenia mayfly hatch. Both incredible, both unique, all Maine. We load up and hit the river, local fly patterns in hand.
So Pete suggested that I switch over or start with a classic Maine pattern called a gray ghost. And I picked this brook trout up in the slack water, and the water's so clear here that you can actually see them hit. That's a great fish to start the day, Pete. Fantastic, look at that. All right, so for early spring brook trout out of Chandlers Lake Camps, for the first fish of the day, you cannot beat that. What a fantastic, fantastic fish. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you bet, brother.
So let's take a look at the fly that we use here today. It's called a gray ghost, and Pete tells me that it's a traditional Maine wet fly. I swung it through the seam here on this pool, and it wasn't 5 casts, and this brookie came up and smashed it. So it's a big, bold fly, and hopefully it'll set the tone for the day.
There's a fish. Classic swing. On a classic barn special. Maine fly. Whoop. There you go. Wow. God, they're so beautiful. So fishing's been tough, and when it's tough, you gotta be adaptable. I've been swinging streamers through this pool, classic streamer water, and nothing. So what I did is I've got a sinking tip on here, short leader, and a little streamer, and then a hare's ear nymph dropped off that. Not something I normally do, but you know, you gotta try different things. When things aren't working, you have to switch it up. And so the hare's ear nymph was what caught this cute little brookie. Pretty fish, beautiful, beautiful shape. That was fun.
The fishing's very good. We're Maine natives. We haven't traveled the world. For the lower 48, our clients that come, I mean, we're spoiled. We will routinely catch fish 16, 17, 18, 19 inches, wild brook trout. For us, that's the norm. It is a remote area. We are in North Maine woods, which is 3.5 million acres. We have over 40 canoes on different remote ponds. Guides are important. It's a lot of local knowledge. And we can fish a different water every day. We can fish a different method every day. Our guides are very experienced and knowledgeable. They can teach you things you don't know. You might even teach them a few things. It's a good experience. Quality fish. We're not big on numbers, but you could have a typical day of 12 to 15 fish per person, and banner days when the hatches are on.
Well, another day here in the North Woods in Maine, and though we had a ton of rain last night, I was a little bit concerned that it would raise the water levels of the rivers here. But even though the rivers have gone up just a little bit, what's really exciting about it is that the water temperatures have actually gone up about 2 degrees. Earlier, we were sitting at 44. Now we're sitting at 46, which bodes well for us fishing brook trout. It's still cold, so we'll still have to go low and slow, but it's a new day here in the North Woods. Fish.
There he is.
Well, it's a good start to the day. Using a gray ghost, got ourselves the first brook trout of the morning. Fly popped out already. So I swung through this pool extensively with a gray ghost, and I had a short strike trout. So what I did was I changed the angle on my presentation. I walked down about 7 feet, pitched it out there, slow stripped it back in, and it did the trick. So there you go. North Maine Woods brook trout. Fantastic specimen. This guy's a young one, but they do get significantly larger. See you, bud. So here's a fly I was using to catch that fantastic brook trout. It's a gray ghost tied by Pete Koch. He's a commercial fly tyer here at Chandlers, and it's done the trick. Most of the fish I've caught this trip have been on that fly.
Fishing cold conditions for native brook trout can be tough, as Tom indicated. I switched to a double nymph rig under an indicator to keep the flies in the strike zone just that little bit longer.
On the nymph. Yeah. Whoa. So the weather's changed a bit since this morning, where we had some high sun and the fish played along a little bit. Clouded over. We're supposed to get some rain this afternoon, so the fishing actually slowed way down. So what we've done is we've slowed down too. And the way we've done that is with this double nymph rig. Got a tungsten head point fly, and then a small little bead-headed prince nymph on the bottom. There we go. Wild Maine brook trout caught on a prince nymph. Doesn't get any better than that. Absolutely perfect. So when the weather changes and the fish are telling you, the fish slow down, they're telling you that you need to slow down as well. That's what we did. Fantastic 10-inch brook trout.
There's a fish. Yeah. Yeah. On the smelt.
Yes.
So we're here in Maine, and this river has a smelt run on it, and we think the fish might be eating smelt. So we figured, well, smelt pattern might be a good idea. And so I was handed a local top secret smelt pattern that I'm not going to tell you about because it's top secret. And it worked for this beautiful brook trout, still almost in spawning colors, just incredibly beautiful. And I can't show you the top secret. Can't show you the top secret fly. I gotta remove this quickly so nobody can see the top secret fly. Yeah, we probably should get a net. So you wouldn't think in 44-degree water that a fish would come up for something, especially something as big as a streamer. But I had thrown a streamer into that fast water earlier. As soon as it hit the water, fish came up and rolled on it and didn't take it. And then I fished and fished and fished and didn't catch anything. So I came up here to this faster water, which common sense tells you that there shouldn't be fish in here when water's this cold. They should be in the deep, slow water. But sure enough, there was this pretty brook trout up there that ate a good-sized streamer. Brook trout are squirmy. They don't hold still very well. God, look at those spots. See you, buddy. Thanks, Tim.
We have 5 guest cabins and we have 5 guides. A typical week for us is 10 clients. So that's a guide to 2 clients. 99% of our clients that come are guided, primarily because of the location.
Maximum space is probably 14 people. We do corporate groups also, which we make room for them. We have 5 different cabins. They sleep 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
The guides eat with the clients. They socialize with the clients. And certainly by the end of the week, they have a relationship. And now with social media, they talk to each other throughout the year, just anticipating their next trip. So we like that feel. It's a big family feeling here.
Chandlers Lake Camps is a comfortable, accessible, and welcoming lodge with all the amenities one would want in a drive-to fishing location. Individual cabins and separate main lodge allow for both seclusion and social occasions, complete with Wi-Fi and full satellite communication amongst the vast wilderness of Maine's North Woods.
Fish. This is a big fish. Oh, he's a good one. So what we did was, we've been struggling a bit, as per usual, which is normal for brook trout fishing. But we decided instead of fishing smelt, which these fish are keying on, that we would go with something that can be generally considered a regular forage fish here in the river, and we're fishing sculpin. So we've got a big, bold sculpin on here, swinging through these riffles, and boom, we come tight with a good one. I'll bring them to you. And he hit hard, super hard. I got 4X tippet on here, so need to be a little careful. Scoop them in the hole. Nice. Good fish. Really good fish. Okay, so let's get this guy unbuttoned. Okay. All right, he's cool in the net. And that is the fly. A big, bold sculpin did the trick. What a fantastic brook trout. Taken on the swing on a sculpin. Just amazing fish. Good one. What do you think? That's 12, 16? 16 inches? I let it go behind me in the back eddy. And he's gone. Absolutely wonderful. Swinging flies. It's a productive, aggressive way to target brook trout, but when they're on, they hit like a ton of bricks. Fish. Oh, great brook trout. Oh my gosh, he's working every bit of this 5-weight out. Yes! Yes! Fantastic fish. What a fantastic animal. Let's get this guy back in and let him go. Unbelievable. How do you like that, brother?
That's a fish.
That is a fantastic
That's a
fish.
nice fish.
All right, so let's take a quick look at what happened here. As you can see, where we're standing is a really, really, like it's thigh deep piece of just flat gravel. And then in the darker water, you can see it drops off. But what's unique about this is that we've got a bubble line coming down from the upstream turbulence. And then we've got a creek coming in that's actually feeding a back eddy that goes upstream. I placed that sculpin right in the foam line where the two currents meet, and boom, 18 to 20 inch brook trout on a sculpin. How cool is that?
As the weather turns for the worse, we decide to call it a trip, with full plans on returning for part 2 of our Northwoods Maine adventure in the summer. Summer stillwater during the Hex mayfly hatch in this area. It's as accessible as it is epic. The hexagenia mayfly hatch in the summer months of the Northwoods in Maine is truly an experience fly anglers should have on their bucket list. Arriving and getting settled before the hatch goes off is imperative to enjoy the entire experience.
So I first heard about this opportunity at Chandlers Lake Camp to fish big brook trout on the Hex hatch in the spring. Well, fast forward to the summertime. It's middle of July and we've hit the hatch perfectly. We're gonna jump in the canoes and try to catch some of these fantastically big brook trout. All right, we just switched over to the dry fly rod, and I think it's important that before we actually start fishing for these brookies, we understand the life cycle of a hexagenia mayfly.
After spending most of its life in the water as a nymph, the mayfly swims to the surface to hatch. This is called the emerger stage. The emerger hatches into a dun, which while on the surface of the water is a primary food source for brook trout. The dun then flies off the water to nearby foliage where it undergoes another transformation to become a spinner. When it becomes a spinner, it will then join others and be seen swarming over the surface in mating flights. Some spinners will drop their fertilized eggs, others will touch down on the surface to deposit them. Finally, the act of renewing the species is complete. The spinners then fall to the surface of the water and ultimately die.
You're hungry, I can tell. There's a fish. Just slammed it. No mistaking that. Good brookie.
Nice one.
Yep, good brookie. So what I did is I'm casting out this 150 grain sinking line, and I'm letting it sink right to the bottom. Then I'm bringing it back slowly. I've got 2 mayfly nymphs on here, and oh man, they're strong.
That's a nice fish.
Sweet. So before the mayfly hatch happens, we come into this lake and trying to see what these brook trout are going to do. Oh, and the flies have already come out. There's no mistaking a wallop from tonight's first pre-hex hatch brook trout. Now, Peter, are these fish cruising, or are they sort of staying in one spot and waiting for bugs to come up from the mud?
No, they're cruising.
They are cruising,
Yep.
right?
And you'll see like you'll get 1 or 2 fish they'll kind of, as the bugs start to come up, and if Jason fished down here before, if they come up in here or along this, like I just saw another one pop up over there, you'll see the fish start to move from left to right, and then all I do is just get, with you, it won't be a piece of cake, just get close to them, cast in front of them, 1 twitch, and bang, fish on. Like that.
Like that. Sweet! How much fun is this? That fish came right out of the water for that.
That's a nice fish.
All right, for the first fish of the night on a hex dry fly, that is a wonderful Maine brook trout. Look at this. Fish. We were just talking about the difference between a mayfly take and a caddis take. And the way it's been explained to me is that mayflies will pop off the water and take off. So trout will hit them hard for fear that they're going to take off the water, where caddis are a little bit more gentle and tend to stick around. So you'll find trout that will actually sip caddis versus smashing mayflies. And I'll tell you what, this trout smashed that mayfly. Oh, they're so strong, man. Now, brook trout, generally, most people think that brook trout don't have teeth. But after seeing this guy eat and knowing that they do actually have teeth, I'm gonna make sure to check that leader. This is a good brookie.
Yeah, it is a good brookie.
That is a great male brook trout.
Equipment for this episode of The New Fly Fisher in Northwoods, Maine at Chandlers Lake Camp is as follows. Both spring and summer saw us throwing 9-foot 5-weight fly rods with a matching weight-forward floating line for mayflies in the summer and indicator fishing this past spring. We utilized an intermediate sinking line in the spring for swinging streamers in Maine rivers. Leader material was 9-foot 3X with 4X tippet for dries. Tonight, we're fishing with Jason Bouchard, owner of Chandlers Lake Camp. Another evening hex hatch on a backcountry Maine kettle lake. Perfect.
Fish. Nice. Ooh, it feels like a good one, man. So we started out tonight with a full sinking line and a longer leader with a twin nymph rig. We got the first fish of the night. We're waiting for the hexes to go off. We moved out to a little bit of deeper water here. And we got ourselves a brook trout. See, he barfed up a hex. He barfed up a freshly eaten bug. Now, we've got loons in the area, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to simply hold this fish in the water for a bit and let it revive as much as possible. We're in no rush here. I'm not gonna handle the fish. I'm gonna pull my phone out, take a couple pictures of the fish in the net, let him revive so that he's got a fighting chance to swim away from these loons, because if I let him go now, he's surely gonna be dinner. Awesome stuff. So, got to keep in mind, the state of Maine takes great pride in their brook trout populations. They are a heritage fishery means that they're all wild in a lot of fly fishing lakes. The reason why the fishing is so good is because people look after their fish here in the state of Maine. Letting them go, keeping them safe, especially away from predators like loons, helps every bit. Wow, what a great fish. I want to thank you for this opportunity to present the Northwoods, Maine to you here on the New Fly Fisher. And I also want to thank Jason and Sherry Bouchard for their unbelievable hospitality at Chandler Lake Camps. Adventure is out there. All you need to do is go and find it. What better way than to do it with a fly rod in your hand?
From everybody here at the New Fly Fisher, my name is Mark Melnyk, and hopefully we'll see you in the great state of Maine.
The New Fly Fisher is supported by Maine Office of Tourism, Orvis Fly Fishing, Trout Unlimited, Real Products, Oscar Blues Brewery, Global Rescue, Adipose Boatworks, WeatherTech Canada,